Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome back to Watchcastage. Black Gloved Bandrew back again. Checkin' a reckin' and let's begin. Party on, party people. Let me hear some noise. Everybody in the house, jump for joy, because today we are looking at another abomination from Amazon that I could not resist buying so that you don't have to. This is the Amazon Essentials Unisex Digital Chronograph, which goes for about $12, and this is the AE/1004, and if you could not tell, this is a near identical ripoff, copy, clone, homage to the Casio W217H. Initially, when I saw this, before I got it, I was thinking it was going to be an F91W clone, but as you can see, the F91W is quite a bit smaller. Let's put that there so you can see the size. F91W small, 217H much larger. Amazon Essentials copying the 217H. Just for a size comparison, there you go. Let's start with the build quality of the watch. As far as the weight, it comes in at 35 grams. The case diameter is only 36 millimeters, but if you include the pushers, it goes out to about 40.5 millimeters. The thickness of the watch comes in at 11.75 millimeters. The lug tip to lug tip comes in at 44 millimeters. The lug width is just shy of 20 millimeters at 19.75. The crystal on this is going to be a plastic, and it is completely flat. The rear of the watch, you will see a screw-on case back with a little bit of information about your amazing Amazon Essentials watch. It does have 50 meters of water resistance. The entire case is going to be a black acrylic plastic. As you can see, you do have 4 push buttons on the side to control the digital watch interface. Don't mumble. But then we get to something that stood out to me as soon as I took this out of the box, and that is the strap, which is a silicone strap, as opposed to just a hard plastic strap, which is what you have on the Casio. It actually reminds me quite a bit of the silicone strap on a Seiko Turtle or the Seiko Arnie, and it feels awesome. So that is actually something that Amazon Essentials did properly. They got a good material for this strap if you like silicone straps. It does have 2 keepers, and it has a standard metal buckle, again, as opposed to the plastic buckle on the original Casio. So I actually think Amazon Essentials did a good job upgrading the strap here. And the last thing I will mention, if this matters to you at all, this watch is manufactured in China, if you could not guess that given the $12 price tag. Now let's talk about the finishing of the watch, which will be very quick, and then we'll talk about the layout of the dial. As I already mentioned, the case is made out of a black plastic acrylic. It is matte, nothing fancy there at all. When you look at the dial, you have more of a glossy black with a red border around it. On the top of the dial, you have alarm chrono, as well as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all of the days of the weeks. Along the sides, you have little indicator markings telling you what the function of each of the buttons is. On the bottom of the dial, you have water resist, 165 feet. And then when we look at the actual display, you have a PM indicator, you have an alarm indicator, then you have this little hamburger looking thing, which tells you what day of the week it is. I absolutely hate this way of displaying the day of the week. Then you have the hour, minutes, and seconds. I wasn't able to find a way to switch to 24 hours, so I believe this is stuck in 12 hour. And then you have another alarm indicator. Again, I wasn't able to determine how to shut off the alarm and the hour indicator. Either they're both on or neither of them are on. Next, let's talk about the features, and we'll walk through all of them. First, I'll start with the movement. I have no idea what is in this thing. I took off the back and nothing was apparent. On the rear of the case back, you have AE/1004. That is the model number of this watch. I'm guessing HFT3484 is the movement, but I couldn't find anything about that online. If anybody knows anything about it, let me know in the comments because I couldn't find a dang thing about it. And as far as the accuracy that I was getting around negative 10 seconds a month, so pretty standard for a quartz movement of this price. Nothing to complain about at all. Losing 10 seconds, that's great. Now let's actually do a walkthrough of the features on this watch. First, we'll start with the upper right-hand button. If we press that, that will give us the month and the day of the month. It is April 7th while I am filming this. If we click the bottom right, this will show us when our alarm is set for. The upper left-hand button will turn on the backlight. My studio lights are on right now, so you can't see it, but I will shut off the lights and show you how that works and show you how good it is. And the bottom right button will scroll through all of the modes on the watch. From the home page, if you go to the first mode, this is the chronograph, and this is standard stopwatch. Upper right, start and stop, and lower right, reset. Pretty straightforward. Then from the home page, if we hit the mode button twice, this will get us to the screen to set our alarm. The bottom right button will change the numeral that you are adjusting, the hour or the minutes, and the upper right-hand button will adjust the time that you're setting. Then back on the home screen again, if we hit the mode button 3 times, now we are going to set the actual time. Again, the lower right button will select what you are adjusting, and if you go through a couple of times, you will also be able to set the day and the date and the day of the week, and the upper right-hand button is going to be the button that you use to manipulate that. The last function that I need to point out is how to turn on and off the alarm. That is by pressing the lower right and the upper right button at the same time. So I will press the lower right and then upper right, and you can see that the indicators go away on the home page to turn it back on. And there we go. And now I'll go ahead and mic up the watch so you can hear what the alarm sounds like when it goes off. And here is the backlight. You can see that it lights up the entire screen and it just works excellent. This is an outstanding backlight. And if we compare that to the Casio, you can see that it does only illuminate while you're holding it, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, but it has the standard light that illuminates from one side. For a Casio, actually pretty good. Let me show you the F91W, and then we'll do the Amazon again. There is the joke of the Casio F91W. You can see that you can barely read that it says PM. Terrible light, not very functional at all. And one last time on the Amazon Basics, just look at that. I am actually surprised how good the backlight on this watch is, given the $12 price tag. And here is the watch on my 18-ish centimeter wrist. You can see that it does fit pretty nicely there. I do also like the stainless steel buckle on this watch. And again, the material of the strap is excellent. I guess let me go ahead and switch out for the Casio so you can see the difference there. The only real difference, it's not going to be a size difference or anything. It is going to be the color that surrounds the dial and the backlight. And here is the Casio. Looks very similar on my wrist. You do have that black buckle, not as nice feeling, and a little bit cheaper feeling strap. Also, the LED screen is yellowish compared to the, I would say, clear or maybe bluish. I don't know. I'm colorblind. I'm bad with that stuff. But you can see there's a clear color difference between the two watch dials. You may not like the yellow and want to go for the clearish, or you may like the more vintagey 80s look of that off yellow, faded, bad paper. I don't know. Let's talk about the pros of this thing. First off, it's the price. It's a $12 watch. That is going to be probably the main reason, if not the only reason, people buy the Amazon Essentials watch. Secondly, the backlight on this thing is amazing, especially when we compare it to the Casios that are the same style, the black acrylic watch, like the 217 and the F91W, the backlight is a tremendous improvement over that. And also, I do think that the strap on the Amazon Essentials is a nice upgrade. I personally prefer the silicone, but I understand why people might not. I do also like the stainless steel buckle on the Amazon Essentials. Just gives you a little bit more confidence in the build of at least the strap. Maybe not the watch as itself, but the strap does feel better. And then as far as the cons of this watch, I absolutely hate the day of the week indicator at the top. I prefer the Casio version where it just says WE. We know it's Wednesday. I like that. I don't want to have to get a magnifying glass and look at what little hamburger thing is where that. Terrible. I hated it. Also, I wasn't too keen on the ergonomics to turn on or off the alarm. Pressing both of those buttons at the same time is kind of a pain in the butt. On the note of the alarm, I also found it abysmally quiet. Definitely cut some corners there. If you're wearing this, you may not even hear it if it's under your pillow. It's not going to wake you up. And lastly, it's a clear ripoff of the Casio. That's the biggest con of them all. It's a clear ripoff of this Casio. Why buy this when for a couple bucks more you can get the original? In conclusion, I really dislike these clone, ripoff, homage watches, especially if there is no real value added. And here, this is 12 to 13 bucks. The Casio that it's ripping off is 18 to 20 bucks. Unless that $7 to $8 is really going to make a difference, I would probably go with the Casio. But credit where credit is due. I do think the backlight on the Amazon Essentials is a huge improvement, and if you agree with me, this is going to come down to personal preference. I do like the feel of the silicone strap with the metal buckle. I think those are nice improvements as well. Even though I think that, I would still pick the Casio W217H or the F91W every single day because these are the originals. They are tried, they are true. We know that the build quality on these is outstanding and they will last forever. Call me a crazy person, but when it comes to watches, I am going to trust Casio a little bit more than I'm going to trust an Amazon Essentials in terms of durability, in terms of accuracy, in terms of everything. Call me crazy. Casio over Amazon Essentials every day. One other thing I should note, when I went to look up this watch today, I could not find the black variant. Currently, I was only able to find the completely white variant or the red variant. If that's what you're looking for to be a bit flashy, a bit cool, a bit hip, maybe it'll work for you, but personally, I'm a little bit understated. I think the black one is the only one worth getting, but hey, I don't think the watch is worth getting in general, so maybe it's good that it's out of stock. Who knows? And I think that is pretty much all that I have for this video. I want to ask you a question. I do have one other Amazon Essentials watch. It's a much larger analog quartz watch with a date. Do you want me to review that? Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. If not, cool, I'll just throw it in a drawer or give it to Goodwill or something. But that's an option if you're interested to see what they have for a larger quartz analog watch for around the same price. And again, I want to reiterate, this channel is not, I'm not a watch expert. I don't know all of the reference numbers of everything. I don't know everything about watches. This is just a hobby for me. This is something that I'm interested in. And when I see watches that excite me, even cheap watches, I think it's interesting to check them out, see what they can offer. And that's why I'm doing it. If I get something wrong, call me out in the comments. I'm fine with it. And I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up. Hated it, thumbs down. And I will see you in a couple more weeks with another watch review. Maybe not an Amazon Basics or Amazon Essentials. We have some really interesting watches coming up. Okay, bye.